Hello everyone, Hiroshima Gamers here. My name is Jeffrey, and today we're going to read the rules to Sekigahara, the Unification of Japan. We have a plan, my friend David Hurley and I, to play this game on Sunday the 29th starting at 1:30 or thereabouts, and I haven't played it for about a year and a half. I did play it maybe a couple of times when I first got it, but that's been a while ago. So this is to help me get back up to speed. I might have to do this a couple of times, being advanced in age and a little slow. But let's get started. The game box. Now, I do have things spread out, so they will be easy to identify. However, basically, I'm just reading through the rules. Now, the introduction says, Sekigahara is a two-player game depicting the campaign in the year 1600 that founded the Tokugawa shogunate. One player assumes the role of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the most powerful daimyo in Japan. The other becomes Ishida Mitsunari, champion of a warlord's child heir. Each leader assembled a coalition of daimyo and fought a 7-week contest for control of Japan. The war was decided at a crossroads called Sekigahara, where disloyalty and defections turned the tide of battle from Ishida to Tokugawa. Now, victory conditions. The Tokugawa player, who is black, and I'm going to be playing Tokugawa. David Hurley and I have already decided on that. He's going to play Ishida, the Ishida side. Now, I will win. Tokugawa will win if Ishida Mitsunari is killed. And this is the block that depicts Ishida. Okay. Now, the other victory condition is if Toyotomi Hideyori, who is the child heir, he's depicted by this, if he is captured. Now, the Ishida player, who will be Mr. Hurley, wins instantly if Tokugawa Ieyasu, depicted by this block, is killed or captured. I guess killed. If both sides win instant victories in the same battle, the Ishida player wins. He's defeated Tokugawa. Okay. However, victory points. Victory points are counted for the victory if the end of week 7 is reached with no instant winner. Players score 2 points for each castle and 1 point for each resource location. The higher total wins the game. A tie in victory points is broken in favor of the Ishida player. Okay. Now, as to the game pieces, and there are a lot of nice block game pieces for this game. Now, each block represents roughly 5,000 warriors. Now, each block corresponds to a single daimyo leader, and the symbol of that clan appears on the block. Now, the historical name of all the players involved in the actual battle are represented on the cards. So for the Tokugawa player. This is his card, and this is his symbol, and all of his blocks have that symbol. Okay, and there are various strengths and sort of functions involved. The strength of the block is the number of symbols on it. So these are a 2 strength block, 3 strength block, 1 strength block, but special function. Now, some blocks also have attached gun or cavalry ability indicated by, of course, cavalry or gun. And also, during gameplay, the other side sees this, and your side can see the strength of your blocks. The other person cannot until they're revealed in a battle. That I remember. Now, some blocks represent the leader, the daimyo of the clan. Now, these are marked with a nobori, a banner. So, here would be one. You can see that's one symbol nobori. That's right there. And Tokugawa Ieyasu has a 3. Okay. And I believe this is, yeah. Ishida also has a 3 on his banner. All the other daimyo just have 1 mon on their banner. Okay. Now, cards. The cards represent the allegiance of each player's armies. This is part of the fog of war for this game, is the allegiance of the armies. The greater the number of cards in a player's hand, the greater the support of his troops. Cards are used to bid for initiative, to move, to force march, and to deploy units for battle. So they do a lot. Okay. Now, so here we have the daimyo, his clan marker. We have the daimyo's name. In this case, it's Tokugawa. And we have the initiative bid number on the card. Now, here we have one for Maida, his clan symbol. This one has the swords on it, and that indicates some special ability. And this one has a number 4 down here. Okay. Now, each side has a deck, and we'll use only that deck for the duration of the game. When the game begins, shuffle both decks and place them face down in front of 2 draw piles. All discards and card plays are public, played face up at the time they're played. Discard piles cannot be examined by either player. When a card draw pile is expended and the player must draw a new card, shuffle the discard pile to make a new draw pile. Other components. Discs that can be destroyed like a block, but cannot move or fight. There are 2 discs in the game, each attached to a castle. The one is the youthful heir, and I believe he's in Osaka Castle because of the symbol here is the same as his symbol. And the other is Sanada Masayuki, and he is in Ueda. Okay. Now, the turn marker. The turns are depicted up here. It's a 7-week campaign. In actuality, it was 7 weeks. And there's an A part to each week, and there's a B part to each week. Now, the turn marker is double-sided. One side is Ishida, one side is Tokugawa. Okay. Now, whoever side is showing, whoever wins the initiative for the round gets to go first. Okay. Now, cubes. We have some resource cubes. So they represents control of the resource areas on the board. And they're also used to track impact delivered during combat on the impact track. Now that's this track over here. And I remember that's just a little bit complex, but very clever. Okay, and we'll get to that. The board. The board can just about sit in, well, not just about, it does sit exactly, with a little extra on the end, within the boom camera. The names appear a little bit hard to read. So, therefore, when we play, we will be identifying who is moving as much as we can and keep the number of people, or the people involved in the movement, sort of secret from our opponent. But we'll be talking about basically who moving from what place to what place and going through what place. So we've become more familiar with the map of Central Honshu, and anyone who happens to stop by also gets a chance to understand the map a little better. It looks like we had a viewer there for a moment, but they have run away, which is fine. Okay. Now, here's some information about what's going on. These, of course, represent cities or locations. This one is Imamura. This is Gifu. Kuwana, maybe you can read that. Okazaki. Hamamatsu. Ueda, Matsumoto. Sendai's way over there. Kanazawa is up there. Kyoto, Himeji. Okay. And then recruitment locations. These are the recruitment locations that we will learn more about later on. Recruitment location. And they each have a clan symbol. So representing where the clan can recruit new troops. And castles are represented by these castle symbols. There are some castles, various castles. And there is siege capabilities in this battle. So we will learn about that as we go along. And those, of course, involved units in a castle. Capital location, a capital location, capital, capital. We'll learn about what that means later on. We have a viewer. Thank you for joining us. We are going to be playing Sekigahara, the Unification of Japan, on December 29th from 1:30 in the afternoon, our time. And I'm just doing a read-through. I haven't played this for at least a year and a half, and when I did, I didn't really get that much. Played it a couple of times with another guy. Not the person who's going to be playing with me on Sunday the 29th. So anyways, I'm just reading through the rule book just to get me to sit down and read through it. You know, I've got lots of different things pulling at me from different directions. So broadcasting is something I like to do. I've only been doing it about 6 weeks, but mostly I broadcast Go on a different channel, Long Ago Ego channel. But this is my Hiroshima Gamers channel, and it's the name of our group. And so we're just doing a read-through of the rules. Okay, now, locations. Locations in general. A location is a place on the map, typically a city, connected by roads to other locations. It's represented by a circle and may include a castle. Any number of blocks may occupy a location. So they may need to be stacked because these are pretty chunky blocks to be in a specific location. Okay. Now, blocks on the map begin and end every turn in a location. So we're moving from city to city. We don't stop to admire the countryside because this is a 7-week battle. We got no time to be messing around, enjoying ourselves. So, from city to city, we're marching. Now, resource locations. Now, resource locations are wealth-producing zones, popular trade routes, and other important regions. Together, they loosely represent the infrastructure of the nation. Now, resource locations are red, while regular locations are white. So, Kuwana, Kyoto, Kiso, Takasaki are all resource locations, and these other places are just regular towns. Not much happening in those places, but resource areas we need to control. Okay, now, the last player to move a block onto or through a resource location controls that location. So you don't need to stay there. You can move through it. As long as you're the last person to have done it, it stays under your control. Okay. Until a resource location is first claimed, it's owned by neither player. Resource locations provide 1 victory point at the end of the game and bonus recruitments during the reinforcement stage. Okay, so that's very important. Both are very important. And I think, if I remember correctly, they are hard to hold on to because these guys are basically walking around, marching around, but they can cover some ground. And like I said, they don't have to stay there. All they got to do is go through it, and they take it away from you. Now, castles. Next thing is castles. Castles are attached to locations on the board. Each castle has a natural alignment with Ishida or Tokugawa. So they start off aligned. And that's by color. So Ishida are the yellow ones here, and Tokugawa are the black ones on the board. I think there's one down here. Yeah, Hakone. Okay, so either yellow or black. Castles are controlled by a player if he has blocks at the location and his opponent doesn't. So you have to be the only one there to have control. If neither player has blocks present, the castle reverts to its natural alignment. So it's either for Ishida or for Tokugawa if anybody leaves, unlike resource locations. Now, during a siege, the castle is controlled by one player and the location attached to it is controlled by the other, because it's a siege because they're holed up in the castle. And it's a siege because the other army's outside the gates. So the other army controls the resources around the castle, and the group in the castle control it. Okay. Now, castles provide 2 victory points at the end of the game. So remember, resource locations are 1 point and castles are 2 points. Now, capitals. We do have capitals. We have Kyoto up here, and that's where, well, it's close to where this guy is. But that's, I think, is a really key point to control, if I remember correctly. And we have Edo down here. Nice place, but it's hard to get down there if you're Ishida, if I remember correctly. And mainly because it's a reinforcement point for Tokugawa. So there are always his troops down here. Okay. Now, initial setup. So we set the turn counter to week 1. And turn counter, I believe, is going to be maybe turn counter. I think it's just that thing, right? Yeah. Shuffle the 2 decks. Each player draws 5 cards from his deck. Okay. So the small card size of 5 cards that you draw represent the limited organizational capacity of each army in the early stages. Now, we have to separate the blocks with setup symbols. So I think we can do that. So setup symbols. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Yeah, you can. It's that little triangle here. And over here, it's a little square. And for this one, it's a star. And for these guys, it's a circle. So I guess it's by clan. Okay. So these need to be separated out. And the others will go into the bag, because we don't have really control over who is going to... Oh, that's it. Oh, he just got one. Okay. Fukushima clan only have 2 people joining them at the beginning of the fight. Okay. And he's got that one. That's a special one. It's got 4 on there. And it's got a card thing. That means something. Okay, these 2 join. This one is going to join. And that's all of those. Those go into the bag. Over here, we've got this one. That one. And none of the special ones for him. Those need to be filled up. And I showed you these cards. So these... Oh, one thing I didn't show you. we haven't talked about yet is a loyalty card. And loyalty is something that's tough to come by in feudal Japan. So we'll leave that out for now. Okay, and then over here, we need some people out. Oh, almost all of those guys. Who is that? Uetsugi. Okay, he's over there. And Mori. Mori has some special function. He's down here. I think it's safe to put these into their bag. Not quite sure. And here we go. Rummaging through those. Kobayakawa. And over here. And Ukita. I think maybe that's it. Okay, so on the day, of course, we want to do a really nice shaking up of the bags. So everybody comes out in a very random way. That's part of the tension in the game. Both cards and units in the bag. You may have units on the board that you may not have cards for. And that can be a problem. So not only is loyalty a problem in feudal Japan, but just some of these troops are lazy. They don't want to, march. They want to stay and, smell the roses and drink the sake. Okay, so place the blocks as described below. And they're placed so only the owner of the block can see its identity. The 5 blocks in the Mori box will remain face up. So I think that's the ones with the triangle. Yeah, the ones with the triangle. Those are over here. And this one does something else. Okay, now, the next step is a little bit tedious, I think. I think so. Okay, we need to find the place on the map where there are symbols. Okay, here. I don't know if you can see here, but there's a +1 and then 3 round symbols. Now, since it's over here in Sendai, that's Date's clan's location, and they have the circular symbol on there. So those blocks go here. Of course, during the game, they would go like this so that you could see them, but your opponent cannot. But we don't need to do that right now. Okay, they go like this. Now here in Aizu, at Aizu Castle, there are 5 circular symbols, which are these. I forget who that is. Utsugi? Uetsugi? Yeah. Now, this +1, I believe, we haven't got to that in the rules yet, but I believe that's a blind draw. So you can have sort of irregular troops within one location. Okay, now here's a +3. It doesn't have any standard ones. Here we have Maida. Where's Maida? We seem to be missing one. Okay. We have to go and dive for that, I guess. We don't need to do it now. We can do that at another time. Here in Osaka, we have squares. We have 6 squares. Oh, okay. This one is there because it's a square. Right? It's a different clan, but it does have a square right there. So he's going to go in with these guys. Okay. Yeah, because of Mori and who's that? Ukita. They have recruitment points there. So they're going to be there. They get a +2. Kyoto gets a +2. Gifu gets a +2. Ueda gets a +3. This one gets a +1, but we're still missing 1. That's all set up. Loyalty, I guess you can see that when we get there. Okay. We've got a 3 here, and that's going to get a +1, +1 there. Tokugawa has a 4 and a +2. Okay, I guess that's it. So we'll read on. Thank you for staying with us. If you want to say hello in chat, be nice to know who's watching. Okay. Now, randomly place blocks. After placing the designated blocks, put the remaining into 2 draw bags, 1 for each player. Then fill the locations that are indicated for random blocks. These locations are designated on the board with a +1, +2, or +3 symbol. The number indicates the number of blocks that should be drawn at random from a bag and placed there. Before drawing these blocks from the bag, the player must specify for which location on the board they are being drawn. Okay, we'll try to get sort of a random thing. So this is black. So let's see. Black gets 1 here in Notsu. So we'll put this one there. Ooh, guy with it's got some guns. And we get 1 more in Kiyosu. Ooh, nice. Nice and strong. Okay. That's going there. In Kiyosu. Put that over there. We get 1 in Hakone. Probably keep my eyes open for. Okay. That gets Hakone. And then in Edo. 2 more in Edo. Now I'm not quite sure what effect having different clans within your units offer. I don't know what's going on there. I have forgotten. Okay, this guy, he drew his own clan member. So that's a very unified group. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I forget. Okay, I may not quite have everybody. Oh, we get 1 more up there. That's 1. Oh, and then Miyazu gets 1 over there. This is tough when you're outnumbered over here. However, you can go into a siege. So that's kind of nice. All right, now, I think that's it for Black Tokugawa. Maybe I'll just throw 1 more over there because it's supposed to have 1 more. Okay, so Uh, okay, +2 for Osaka. Two for Kyoto. Well, these are coming out pretty random for not being careful about mixing them up when we put them in. Just threw them on. Okay, someone else has shown up. Thank you for stopping by. Let me do the blurb here. On December 29th, we're going to be playing Sekigahara, the Unification of Japan, here at my place in Hiroshima, starting around 1:30. I have something to do in the morning, but my friend David Hurley is coming over at 1:30, and we're going to get underway. Now, today we're just doing a reading of the rules, because it's been about 1.5 years since I played it and didn't quite get it that well the first time I played it. Maybe I played it twice. I'm not really sure. But it's played on this nice board. And right now we're seeding troops into their locations. And the next seed is going to be in Ueda at the castle with Sonoda. And as I've said, during the actual game, of course, you don't have these facing up. You have them facing you, so your opponent can't see what's going on. Oh, we lost the one person. Oh, that's too bad. The person who's still watching, if you could say hello, that would be nice. Be nice to know who I'm talking to. And I don't think we have another one in Aizu yet. Put one over there. Aizu, that got 3, that got 2, that got 2, this got extra 2. Right, yeah, this one and that one. Nobody else over there, right? No. Okay, and nobody over here. 1, an extra 1, 1, an extra 2, and an extra 1. Okay, so that's seeding the board. And okay, next step. Okay, reinforcement blocks. Oh, Flemmy. Run net 73 best. Well, I don't know that you need to design banners, icons, and overlays for my channel. Actually, I was using OBS, but it had a fight with my laptop, and OBS got sort of kicked out. Xanister70, nice to see you. And so I bought a new computer. So right now I'm using Ecamm Live on their 14-day free trial. I don't like it as well as OBS. I had lots of control over that, and I could make all of my, what did you call it? Banners, don't need icons and overlays. I did myself. So, yeah, I like that control with OBS. Anyway, so I'm getting a new computer, going to be hopefully this week. Before I've got 8 more days left on Ecamm. Hopefully it'll get here in about 6 days. I've got GoStream coming up on Sunday, which will be okay for Ecamm. I may have a GoStream tomorrow morning, which will be okay on Ecamm. But it's going to run out before we get to Sekigahara 2 weeks from now. runs out in 8. So hopefully the computer gets here and I can set up my new broadcasting software. Anyways, back to business here. Reinforcement blocks. Add the first wave of reinforcements. Each side draws 4 blocks at random from their bag and place them in the reinforcement box. Oh, that says +4? Yeah, +4. And this one says +4 somewhere. Right. Okay, so we need, there's 2 and 2 more. Like I said, this is sort of some of the fog of war. You have no control over what's going to come out. You don't know what cards you're going to get, don't know what blocks you're going to have on deck. But that's feudal Japan. Okay, so keep moving forward. All right, Zanister, thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Flemmy, thanks for stopping by. Hope you do more than just inform me about what you can do for me. Okay, anyways, weekly cycle. Okay, here we get into turn. I'm going to move this one a little bit up there. Over here. Yeah. I actually should have use my one camera as a close-up camera. But anyways, keep it light this time. Okay, weekly cycle. The game is played in 7 weeks, each of which contains 2 turns, an A turn and a B turn. Each week of the game includes the following steps in the order listed below. Reinforcement step. Okay, each player receives new cards and blocks as follow. Each player discards half, rounding down, of their hand. So, for example, if you have 7, half would be 3.5, so you would round down to 3. You would discard 3. So you'd keep 4, discard 3. Okay? Then each player draws 5 new cards. The player who controls the most castles gets to draw a 6th card. So you have to keep that in mind as you go along. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 castles. 1, 2, 3 castles. So it looks like Ishida has the advantage to start since he controls more castles. Right, that's not a castle, that's just a home base. Oh, wait a minute. No. Yeah, we got another castle. Oh, we got 2 castles down there. Oh, my mistake. Yeah, Tokugawa. No wonder he's the dominant daimyo of the age. He's got 5 castles. So taking over someone's castle would make things even Steven again, and nobody would get the extra draw card. But Tokugawa is in the lead to start, and he would get an extra card. Then, each player draws at random from their bag a number of blocks as written on the recruitment track on the board. Over here. So, the first week, we already have our 4 that we drew, during the initial setup. So there's nothing more in the first week. In the second week, you draw 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 blocks. Then in the 5th week, it's 1, 1, and 1 for the last 3 weeks. So the first times you draw blocks, it'd be 2, 2, 2. And the last 3 times you draw blocks, it'd be 1, 1, 1. So there's not a lot of extra troops coming onto the board. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 11 more blocks. Unless there's something else that gets you more. Yeah, okay. Now, the player who controls more resource locations draws an extra block. So if you always control more, you may get up to 6 extra units available to come onto the board. Or even Steven, 3-3. Okay. Now, those blocks go into the reinforcement box. They don't go onto the board. You need a card to bring them onto the board. So they go into this reinforcement box. There are troops who want to get involved, but they haven't really been told what to do yet. So they're just hanging out at home. Okay. Now, turn order set. Each player bids for turn order by placing a card from their hand face down on the table. So, for example, this was going to be my card. I would put it down on the table, and that's a 4. Okay. And my opponent, I don't know what he was going to put down on the board. That's a 1. Okay. Turn order. And revealed. The higher number is the winner. The winner player chooses who will move first for both turns in the present week. So if Tokugawa, he won, if he wanted to go first, he would put his side up, the opposite side, his side up, in the A section of the week. Now, turn A would start. Tokugawa, in this case, he would take his turn, and when he's finished, then B would take their turn, and when B was finished of the A part, then we move this down to the B part, second half of the week. You might, call it the weekend. I'm not sure if it's, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're a soldier, you got to work. You got to work. So is it a weekend if you got to work? I don't know. But anyways, then Tokugawa would start again with his B turn, and then the Ishida player would take his B turn. Okay, now within each turn, the first player, in this case Tokugawa, would have a movement phase. After that, he would have the combat phase. So he moves and he fights, as it should be. And then it's the next player's turn. He would move, and then he would fight. Then it would go back to, drop down to the next half of the week. And the first player would move and fight. And then the second player would move and fight. And then it goes to the next week, and it becomes neutral again. And we would have to draw or place a card for initiative on the turn track. And if you win, you get to decide if you go first or the other player goes first. Okay, so that's turns. Learning something as we go along. Now, I'm not sure if Zanister is the same person who's still here, but one person is. If you have been here all along, thanks for sticking with us. If you follow the channel, of course, you will be notified when we go live for the actual playing of Sekigahara, Unification of Japan. Who will unify? Will it be Tokugawa? I believe as he did historically, or will Ishida turn the tables and disrupt space-time continuum, and we're in an alternate reality. Okay, movement phase. Here we go. How do we move? Now, during the movement phase, a player may move none, some, or all of the stacks of blocks he controls on the board. A stack is all of the blocks in a single location. The number of stacks that can be moved is determined by the number of cards spent for movement. Mustering, period. Mustering and overruns can also occur in the movement phase. Okay, get to that. Now, we have to buy movement with cards. And of course, if you're spending cards for movement, you don't have cards for combat. So remember, move, then fight. Okay, now, if you spend no cards, no movement, no stacks may move. However, any number of cards may be discarded from your hand and replenished. So if you've got cards that don't work with the troops you have, then you may get rid of those cards or the cards you don't need that aren't working properly and draw new cards for your next turn. Okay. Now, also, if 0 cards are played, you can go with minimal movement. Now, instead of... All right, just a moment. Maybe short, may not. I'll be back, I hope. Yeah. What do they want?
You have okane?
Okane? Yeah.
Oh.
Why do I need okane? How much?
I don't know.
You didn't ask?
Computer no okane じゃないの? How much?
Yeah, I've already paid that. Yeah, that's not what I'm paying. It's going to be like tariff or something.
I don't know.
So it better be like same.
違うよ.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not paying for the computer. I paid for the computer.
じゃあ、
こんにちは。
2915円です。915円。3020円。はい、ありがとうございます。すみません。サインをここにお願いします。ありがとうございます。じゃあお荷物と、はい、ありがとうございます。5円。すみません。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうね。Oh, thanks for sticking with us. I am back with good news. Got the new computer. I wasn't sure if this was going to make it because it was not coming from Japan. It was coming from somewhere else. I'm not sure if it was Taiwan or mainland China, but shipping point didn't originate. Last time something like that happened, it was like 10, 12 days or more. So I wasn't happy before, but got it today. Very, very happy. That means that I don't have to worry about eCam, free trial being over in 8 days, I'm going to be ready to set up the new computer, put in the new software, OBS software, and it should be friendly this time. It wasn't friendly with my MacBook. Didn't allow me to stream after a while. Did stream quite a bit ago, but when I went to stream board games, didn't allow me. Now I did get a chance to record using the old OBS. David Hurley and also my friend Sean came over and we played 1775 Rebellion, the American Revolution. And those 2 games with Sean, no, 1 game with Sean and 1 with Hurley. Played 2 games with Hurley, but OBS didn't record one of them. It stopped recording. So anyways, those are on my YouTube channel, which is Long Ago Ego. Okay. Anyways, back to this. Where are we? We're over there. Let me do this. Okay. So hello? Yeah. Not happy with that. What's going on? Just a moment. You don't want to watch a frozen picture of me. Whoa. Wasn't that fun? Yeah. A little bit of everything. Good thing I didn't have any of those cameras pointed at something you shouldn't see, which isn't the case in this room, except for maybe some messy points. Okay? Are we sort of back in business? Yeah. Okay. So anyways, movement. You can either play no cards and then switch out cards for ones you don't want for ones you may want. They're still random. Or you may move 1 stack or do 1 mustering action. Mustering's coming up next. Now, if you play 1 card, you have limited movement. 3 stacks may move. And in lieu of one of the moves, the player may conduct a mustering action. So you may move 3 stacks. With 1 card, you may move 3 stacks or 2 stacks and 1 muster. Now, if you play 2 cards, on total movement, every friendly stack may move and 1 mustering action may be conducted. Okay? Now, what is mustering? Now, contrary to what some people may think, mustering does not involve mustard. Nothing to do with hot dogs or anything to do with mustards. Mustering is the act of placing blocks currently in the recruitment box under the map. A player may muster at most once per turn, and that's either by playing 1 card or by playing 2 cards. Okay. You can't play no cards in muster. It's got to play 1 or 2. Okay, now movement restrictions for mustered units. If you put some muster on some units here in the recruitment box, you may move them to a recruitment location, but they may not move in the same turn. Okay, so you can put them on the board, but you can't move them. Now, where? Blocks can be mustered only to recruitment locations. Recruitment locations are locations labeled with the symbol of a friendly daimyo. And they are color-coded as black or gold. So my recruitment locations are here. Right, that's the Kobayakawa. This is the Mori, and that's Kita. And those Maeda shows up there. Tokugawa is here. Fukushima is over there. And this is the Date clan. Okay, so people go to their proper recruitment areas. Now, during the initial seeding of the board, we had the random placement of units into areas. So only at that time, I think, do non-clan units show up in clan areas. Okay. Okay, now options. I may be wrong. Okay. There are two options on how to muster. A, the player may bring any or all blocks belonging to the same daimyo from the recruitment box to a recruitment location that has the matching daimyo mon. These blocks must be displayed to your opponent to prove that they match. Okay, alternatively, a player may muster to any friendly recruitment location a single block of any daimyo. In this case, the block need not be displayed. Okay, so you can bring some other clan to a different clan area, but you can only do one at a time. Okay, so everybody in the recruitment box of one clan can go to the clan area, or one of any clan can go to any clan area. Now, there's called mustering into combat. Blocks can be mustered into a combat situation only if the combat was initiated by blocks on the board. An attack cannot come from the recruitment box, but it can be supported from there. Okay, and of course that would have to be like a fight in Gifu. Right, because it's it's not Gifu. Fight, where do we have a recruitment point? In Kiyosu, we have a recruitment point, right? So you can move in there. That's, well, I guess over here, there's a recruitment at this castle. Recruitment there. Sendai, recruitment there. There aren't that many. I guess down here, Maeda's got some recruitment can go on. Himeji, if anyone wants to attack Himeji, that would be kind of silly, I would think. It's such a big, beautiful castle. If you've never been to Himeji, it's definitely a place to go when you come to Japan. Okay, now, movement. Movement in general. The source of a move is a single location. From that location, any or all of one player's blocks that did not muster that turn may be moved up to the limits as set forth below. Blocks move along roads from one location to another. Blocks which begin the phase together need not travel on the same roads nor finish their move together. Some blocks may be moved from a location while others are left behind. A stack may drop off blocks as it moves. Movement must follow these restrictions. So everybody in an area, so all of these blocks may be moved at one time. And they don't have to, as one movement, they don't have to go in the same direction. And as many as you want can be moved in any particular direction, and they can be dropped off as they go. No block may be part of more than one move per turn. Okay, so you can't move from one area to another area, and then blocks in that area move their turn and pick up some of the old blocks. Now, a stack must complete its movement before another stack may move. A stack may not pick up additional blocks as it moves. Drop off, but not pick up. Now, no road segment may be traversed by more than one stack or more than once per movement phase. Okay, so one army gets to travel the road, and then someone needs to come out and tidy it up a bit before anybody else can travel on it. Now, moving blocks must stop when they encounter enemy units unless enemy units can be overrun. We'll learn more about that. Movement distance. Now, the base movement rate is one location per move. Now, this can be increased by one location for each of three cases below. If all three cases apply, a stack of 1 to 4 blocks can move 4 locations. Now, that's the maximum a stack could ever move. So it's from 1 block to 4 blocks in total, at most 4, can move up to 4 locations if they satisfy all 3 of these requirements. Otherwise, it can be increased by 1 location for each of the 3. So if you satisfy 2 of these, you can move 2 extra spaces. 1, you can move 1 extra space. So 1 location plus for each of the 3 things, they may move 1 extra space. Okay, so first one is the highways. Blocks that make their entire move on a highway may move 1 extra location. So the highway is this darker colored road. Okay, so the direct route from Edo through Takasaki and Gifu to Kyoto. And I guess you could go on to Osaka. And the other is the Tokaido, the famous Tokaido Road that goes from Edo through Hakone, Hamamatsu, and Kyoto, and then Osaka if you want to go that far. Okay, so if you're moving on there, totally, all of your movement, you can't move from like here across the small road and then pick up speed. No. You got to be on this road to start and finish on the road in order to move 1 extra location. Okay. Now, leadership. Blocks that begin the move in the presence of leadership may move an extra location. So leadership, I'm pretty sure, would be someone with a banner. So a normal daimyo or Tokugawa himself, the big boy. Okay. Okay. And the last one is force march. Blocks at force march may move an additional location. The active player may initiate a force march by discarding 1 card from their hand. Okay, so getting rid of more cards. Force march. Now, a force march applies to a group of blocks that begin, finish, and move together. Now, normally you can drop off blocks as you move, but forced march, if you play a card to force march, everybody's got to go. They got to stay together because they're marching fast. You know, can't drop out. You know, everybody falls down. Right? Someone tries to get out of line. Doesn't work. And only one forced march can be in effect for any given block at a time. Okay, one and only one. Now, leadership. Leadership present at the origin of a move increases the base movement rate of a stack by one move. Leadership can be it's more than just the daimyos. It can be a leader, so it can be the daimyo, or it can be a castle. If you start from a castle, that's considered leadership. I guess the head honcho in the castle says, "Hey, go fast, guys," or the capital. Okay. Now, if you are out here in the middle of nowhere, so you aren't in a castle and aren't in a capital, but you say, I'm moving one extra because of leadership, you're going to have to show that block to your opponent to prove that that leader is in that group, right? So it's, you know, spies lurking about. Oh, they're going really fast. They're moving in extra space. Oh, I see. It's got a leader there. Okay, that's what happens. All right. Now, now, if you're moving based on a castle as your leadership, it's got to be aligned to you. So it must be aligned to you and controlled by you. Okay. Now, you can't come down here or come over here and use that as leadership if you're Ishida, if you're a yellow group. You can't do it. It may be controlled by you if you took it over, but it doesn't have your initial color. So, can't do it. And leadership, even if there's more than one source available to it, can only move one time. Okay. Movement and force sizes. Now, large forces move more slowly than small forces. For every multiple of 4 blocks beyond the first 4 are fine. But if you add any more than that, which might fit into a 4, might be 1, might be 2, or 4, 4 is set. Anything beyond that is the next multiple of 4. Okay, your movement's reduced by 1. So large armies, anything over 4 is going to be reduced by 1. And a super large army may be reduced by 2. Okay, so if you're going to move 9 blocks, don't want to do it, move 8. You only drop 1. You move 9, you're going to drop 2. Why go? Leave the guy behind. Slowpoke. Don't need him. Okay. Okay. Okay, and so there's a plus and a minus movement chart here, which we don't need to deal with. All right, overruns. Now, if you move into an area, you may overrun it because you're moving fast. Okay, overruns occur when a large force overwhelms a small force. An overrun can occur during movement or after a retreat. Overruns can also be caused by retreating blocks. So if you're retreating, we just said that, didn't we? Mustering blocks or bringing units from the Morty box. Okay. In order to overrun an enemy force, the overrunning player must have at least 4 times as many blocks present as the enemy. The strength of each block has no effect. So it's only the number of blocks, not the strength on the blocks. So two different things. So if you're bringing in and going to a location, and you're bringing in 4 here, and your opponent only has 1, that opponent's overrun. Overruns are resolved immediately as they happen. Applies regardless of whether a combat has been declared. Ooh, overrun units are destroyed, and the victorious player suffers no casualties. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, overruns. You gotta like that, right? If an overrun occurs during a move, the moving blocks may continue their move because they're overrunning. Run over, destroy them, keep going, no problem. Forces already committed to battle in a location offer their strength to any overruns against their foes. So, for example, the defender has 1 block in a location. The active player moves 1 stack consisting of 2 blocks into that location. He then moves another stack with 2 blocks into that location. At that moment, the overrun occurs. The defending block is eliminated and the active stack may continue to move. The first stack contributed to the overrun but has already moved and may not move again. Okay, so you move 2 blocks in, you move another 2 blocks in, that makes 4. The single guy gets kicked out, gets killed. Now, overruns and castles. Okay, next stop. Enemy units who control a castle cannot be overrun. Furthermore, forces within a castle automatically lend their strength to any overruns occurring against a besieging force outside. So if you guys got guys in the castle, there's bad guys outside, and you move forces in, your forces in the castle and the forces outside add up. You got more than 4 to 1. The other guys get killed. Okay, now there's an example of that, but that seems pretty clear. Move on to combat. As a general rule, that means that the general has made the rule. Therefore, it's a general's rule. Okay, combat occurs after all movement. Combat must be declared in every location on the board where opposing pieces appear together. Okay, remember, you're moving and then you're fighting. Moving and fighting. Moving and fighting, moving and fighting. Okay, so in 1 week, you get to move and fight twice. Now, anywhere where there are pieces from either side in the same spot, combat's going to happen. Okay. Now, the person whose turn it is, he gets to declare which ones start first. So he declares where he's going to start. Now, the combat will be either a battle or a siege. And it's a siege if anybody is inside the castle. Now, if you're inside, you can battle outside. If you're outside, you can battle inside on your turn. Right? Now, one location's finished, then you go to the next location. Okay, now, how do battles work? Battle procedure. Combat is resolved as a battle if neither force is inside a castle. So, regular battle, nobody's in a castle. Deployments produce impact. The side with the higher impact is winning the battle. Excuse me. Now, over here is where we have the impact track. Okay, and after we talk about battles, impacts at the beginning of this next column of text. Now, once again, the side with the higher impact is winning the battle. All blocks involved in a battle remain concealed until deployed. Okay, so you don't know. Your blocks are there. They're going to fight, but you don't know who you're fighting. Because you can see the front. There's some people. I don't know who it is, right? They haven't raised their banners yet. Okay. Okay, now they remain concealed until deployed. And then after the battle, they become concealed again. So they're going to start off like this, and then they're going to be deployed. They'll go like that, and then after the battle, if they haven't been killed, they go back to that. Okay? Easy enough. Now, of course, cards are used to deploy blocks in the battle. Each card can deploy one block. So, God, we're using cards for everything. For initiative, for movement, additional movement, for deploying. I don't know. All. I have to review after my review to remember how everything works. Luckily, we do have... we have these nice reference cards. Okay. Everything you need to know is on these cards. Okay. Those are getting a little bent. Studio, kind of confined space. I mean, it's relatively small space to begin with, but with everything here, it's confined space. We got these little shimmy aisles to get out. Back to business. Okay. Cards, of course, are used to deploy blocks in a battle. Each card can deploy one block. The card used to deploy a block must have the same symbol as the block, right? That's why, they may show up they may be there, but they may not want to fight because you don't have the cards. That's why you can move cards in and out, hoping to get cards for the blocks that are going to be in the fight. Okay. Have the same cards and blocks with different mode cannot be played, of course. Cards of all daimyo designations may be matched to the Seoul Ishida block and the Seoul E block. Don't know what that means. I'm going to have to look it up later. Oh, the E block. Oh, that's this one. Okay, so this one, and where's the Ishida block? Where'd he go? This one. Okay, so this is a special block, and this is a special block. Where did that go? Over here with the stars. Those are stars, right? Yeah, those stars are over here with this guy. Let's read that again. The exception. Cards of all daimyo designations may be matched Okay, so blocks can be played, and the card to play them may only be used once in a battle. So if there's a refight, you got to use a new card, I think. Okay, still not sure of this. Okay, so it doesn't matter, the daimyo clan is better. doesn't mean the clan designation on a card. Any of them may be used to say, hey, Ishida, get in the fight. Or, hey, E, get in the fight. Okay, anybody works for these guys. Now, a leader block deploys without playing a card if no deployments have yet been made with a card by that side in the present combat. Now, leaders who deploy without a card means if they're the first one into the fight, they're running out there in front of their guys saying, follow me. Okay? They don't need a card because they're brave. They're leaders. They're at the front leading. They get to go in without a card. And they're immune to loyalty. 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 Loyalty challenge. Where's the loyalty? Loyalty challenge. They're immune. If you're a leader and you're out there first, you're immune to a loyalty challenge. Now, if you have more than one leader, you may keep deploying leaders without cards until you deploy your first block with a card. Okay? So leader, all of them can rush in there first thing. They're not going to get the loyalty challenge. Boom, they don't need cards. You can get a lot of them in there. Boom. Then as soon as you get a regular guy in there, leaders, they give up. They're not going in without a card. Now, impact. Effectiveness in combat is measured in impact. That's over here. Right? That's over here. Impact is recorded on the impact track using small cubes. Okay, that's these cubes. Okay, gonna use those. Each side tracks their cumulative impact separately. Okay, we'll find out how to do that, I hope. The base impact of the deployment is the number of mon on the block. This can be anywhere from 1 to 4, right? Like this guy. Tough guy, he's got 4. That one's got 3. This one's got 1. That one's got 2. This one's got 1. Okay? So that shows how strong that unit is. Okay? Now, the weak guys, they still need 1 card to run out there. Strong guys, only 1 card to run out there. But the combat itself, based on the number of symbols on that block. Okay. Now, impact bonus. Add 1 point of impact for each block of the same daimyo already deployed. Okay, so if I have for example, one of these guys, right? So I'm going to get a 3 impact off of this guy. Then this guy joins him. He's the same. So he gets 1. 1 more plus 1. Okay, so it gets 2. So 1 more than the mon on it. Okay. Okay. Now, special attacks. Cavalry. Right? The cavalry. And the shooters. Gunmen. Now, cards with a sword in the corner. Right. Regular card. Card with a sword. Okay. Card with those swords. Indicate a special attack. When used to deploy a block with a cavalry or gun symbol, an attack of that type is launched. In a cavalry or gun attack, add 2 points of impact for the cavalry card or the cavalry unit or the gun. and another 2 points of impact for each block featuring that type of attack already deployed on the same side in the present battle. Whoa! Now, if it's deployed without that card, you don't get it. But hoo-wee, if you play more than one of those, that's really good. That's going to be strong. You're going to save those up for that special battle, right? Bring those guys together. Oh, over there, this guy, knock out that guy, you win right away. So that would be good. Have some of those swords on your cards. And have those cavalry or the gunmen involved. Okay. When used to deploy a block with a cavalry or gun symbol, an attack of that type is launched. In a cavalry or a gun attack, add 2 points of impact for the cavalry or gun, and another 2 points of impact for each block featuring that type of attack. So you get 1, right? You get 1 for the symbol. And then if you got that card, you get 2 for the gun or for the horseman. And if you already got one in there of the same type, you already got a horse and you're galloping in again, you get 2 more. Wow, that's great. That's on the impact track over here. Double cards. Ooh, double cards. Yeah. Didn't mention double cards. Where are those double cards? Single symbol card. Double symbol cards. Right. Double cards feature 2 identical mon in each corner. Double cards allow the deployment of 1 or 2 blocks. So 1 card up to 2 blocks. And if it's 2, both of them must match the symbol on the card. Now, they're deployed 1 by 1. So remember, if you already have 1 block in the fight from your clan, and you put another block of your clan into the fight, you get an extra impact, right? So a double, you get 1. Let's say it's a 1-pointer. Let's see, it's this one. You get 2, right? Because there's 2 symbols on there. There's another one of his guys. Then you add another one, 2 for that. Then you're going to get 2 for this, plus you're going to get 1 more for that. So you can get 5, right? Put them down together, you only got 4. But double symbol, you put them down individually. So you get 5 points for that. That's pretty good. So you save a card. Ooh, those double cards with the swords. Why? You get boom, boom, boom. All kinds of stuff. Small skirmishes. Don't use those cards. Save them up. Over there. Move over your guys. That's what you want to do. Oh yeah, on this side. Ooh, maybe that'll be my approach. David Hurley, don't watch this video. I might be giving away my strategy here. Yeah. Old and senile. Okay, now, you can't use, if you use a double card to move this guy in or that guy in, right? Those are special. It doesn't get to do another one, right? These are 1 card only, even if it's a double card. Nobody else, just those guys. Okay. Now, back to initiative. Initiative rests with whichever side is losing the battle. Oh. That seems strange, doesn't it? If you're losing, you have the initiative. Doesn't seem right. And that is the person with the lower impact score. Now, that player has the opportunity That's right. To deploy blocks one after the other in order to take the lead. That's right. So, first person to deploy a block, of course, is in the lead with blocks deployed. Okay. Now, if he deploys one, he's got the lead. So that means the person who didn't deploy the block has lower impact. So he's got the initiative in order to come back and deploy. Now, if he doesn't overtake the impact of the other player, he's got to keep playing. Once he overtakes the other player, then he can stop, just rest a little while. And it's up to the other person to then carry on the fight, right? Or give up, right? So once he does take the lead, initiative reverts to the other player. Since ties favored the defender can take the lead by matching the attacker's impact. Oh, that's nice. Initiative is passed back and forth between the players until one player, who holds the initiative at the time, declares that he will deploy no more blocks. Okay, so you got to declare. If you're ahead, you got to say, that's it for me. I'm not coming in anymore. You got one last chance to put more in than me. Okay, so the person with initiative who's playing blocks, once he takes the lead, declares that's as many as he's going to do. Last time he's going to take the lead. Okay, coming from behind last time. Okay, so now you've got the initiative because you're behind. You got one chance. Okay, now he may deploy as many more as he wishes and is able. Now, when he says he's done putting people into the fight, then the battle ends. Okay, now that's once you've said I'm through. You're behind now, so you get to play, and you can play as many as you want, and then you declare, okay, I'm done. Okay, the battle's ready to end. However, loyalty challenge card. Yeah. Now, is that on top? Yeah, who knows where I put it? I don't know. Loyalty challenge card. Okay, that card. They can be played out of turn immediately after deployment by the opposing player to challenge the loyalty of the block thus deployed. So it's only the loyalty of the last block deployed. Not everybody, not anybody. Not everybody and not anybody you want, but the last one deployed. So if you're going to use it, it's probably best to use it. Use it when a big number comes out, like this guy, big 3. Big 3. Ooh. Now, you say, I think this guy's disloyal. You throw this down. You throw down this challenge. You say, I think this guy's disloyal. Well, if in my hand, I can say, wait a minute, no he isn't. I got a card for that guy. He's not disloyal. He's staying. Used a card. Another way to use a card. Right? Then he stays with me. He's not disloyal. Of course, any card that gets played is discarded. Now, if he is proven to be disloyal, he goes over to your side. He counts for your team. Okay? And then you got to switch impact. Right? He's going to impact for your side, not for my side. Now, blocks which switch sides do not execute a special attack at the moment of their betrayal, right? They're coming over to your side, but you didn't use a special attack card for that to happen. Or, I suppose if it's this one, right, with that gun symbol and it goes into your group with the gun symbol, you don't get an extra point because it's a gun symbol. Whatever, nothing happens. However, later, if your side continues to bring units into the fight, they can use that one just as if it was yours. You know, this one wouldn't do anything, but if it had this kind of special attack symbol in it, they could. Now, if you're using a double card to bring on 2 blocks, and you've got, they come down one at a time. And after you've played that second block, and your opponent says, "Wait a minute, loyalty challenge," he throws it out there. You have 2 blocks in play, but you only need to have 1 card to save or keep the loyalty of those. Don't have to have 2. Play 2, but you don't have to have 2 because you had a double symbol. And that bonus, there being 2, boom. I've already got one down there. That point goes long. So I get these guys, boom. 5 points change of impact. Okay. Now, losses. How to determine losses. After a battle, both sides take losses according to the impact delivered against them. Both sides lose 1 block for every 7 impact delivered by their opponent. Always round that impact down. So, therefore, 0 through 6, boom, 7. Okay. Nothing, 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 nothing. 7, boom, that's 1. You lose 1 block. 14, lose 2 blocks. Okay, so yeah, you can see difference of colors here. They change color in 7s, groups of 7s. Now, both sides lose impact or lose units based on every 7 units of impact. Lose a block. Now, the losing side in a battle loses 1 additional block. Okay, so whoever has the most impact is the winner, whereas if the lower impact is the loser. But both sides lose blocks depending on how much impact they had total. And then the loser, in the relative impact, one with less, he loses an extra block. Okay, now selecting losses. The attacker suffers damage first, then the defender. Okay? Players select which of their own blocks to lose. Okay, this is a little complicated, The attacker suffers damage first, and then the defender. Selecting losses, right? Players select which of their own blocks to lose. Now you first must be selected any blocks which defected to your opponent. Okay? So if they defected, they're not on their side forever. You know, whichever ones they played the loyalty on, they're gone. They lose. You know, they switch sides, but then they didn't make it. We don't like traitors. Fight to the end. Loyalty is first and foremost. Okay, so anyways, they're the ones in selecting losses, you know, depending, every 7 impact you lose block. So anybody switch sides goes out first. Then other blocks which have been deployed. And then if you still have impact affecting losses, boom, it's got to come from ones that didn't get deployed, right? Not everyone in that area got to go into the fight. You have to have cards to deploy, and you're going back and forth, right? Building it up. If not everybody goes in, but you still have impact, you've got to take a loss, comes from the people waiting, you know, cheering them on, you know, the cheer squad. They lose. And you have to identify the lost blocks if they're, you know, they weren't in the battle. Okay, and they're completely removed because they're dead. You know, they're not coming back from death. They're off the board. And you can keep those on the side of the board so everyone knows, you know, like victory, my trophies. Now, retreats. Now, if not everybody went into the battle and you're the loser, anyone didn't go in, they got to retreat to a single adjacent location that's accessible by road. Okay, that's everybody. Everybody's left. It's got to go back. Retreat 1. Okay, no cards. You're just retreating. You lost, move them back. Back them up. Okay, next. When the attacker retreats. Now, if you're the attacker, right, not the loser, loser always retreats. But if you were the loser and you were the attacker loses, retreats if possible to a location containing no enemy units and from which the enemy did not enter the combat location. Okay. Oh, the attacker. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm in the wrong place. Okay. Loser always retreats to a single location. Now, if you were the attacker and you're retreating, you must retreat to a location from which some of your forces entered the battle. If you only entered from one way, you've got to retreat in that direction. If you came in from 2 different directions, you've got to choose one of those directions. Now, if for some reason that's impossible, then you got to go to another location. Okay? Now, when the defender, you attack, they lost, the defender retreats, if possible, to a location containing no enemy units and from which the enemy did not enter the combat location. Okay? Basically, no, you don't want to go to where they came in because maybe their guys are still back there. Their guys came this way. You can't go that way. You got to go another way. And you don't want to go this other road, they're bringing in some guys. They weren't in the fight, but they're over there. You don't want to go that way. You got to go to a place where they didn't come in and they don't have any guys. So an open spot they didn't come from. If you can. And if you can't, then of course first you'd want to go to a location from which direction they came, and if that's not possible, to a location where there are other bad guys, you know. Now, retreats into a castle. Now, a castle can harbor retreating units. If the battle took place in a location with a castle, the castle is a valid retreat destination only for the side which controlled the castle prior to combat. All right, they're going to open the gates for you because that's where you were. That's your place. If you're attacking, they're not going to open the gates, right? You can't retreat if they don't open the gates, so they're not going to do it. If a castle is a valid retreat destination, the retreating player may leave up to 2 blocks in it. If there are more blocks remaining, these must retreat elsewhere as a group. Okay, so 2 people only, can stay in a castle. More than that, they got to go as a group, stick together to one of those other locations. Now, it is possible for a retreat to cause another battle, right? Because you don't want to move where there are people. You don't want to move where people came from. But rather than move into a location where there are enemies, you can move to where they came from. But if you can't do that, if you can only move to where people are, you're going to cause another battle. Or maybe an overrun. Remember, if you got 4-1, that's it. So if you retreat, immediately start a new battle. The retreating blocks are the attacker for this new battle. If the retreating forces enter into an existing battle, one that hasn't been fought yet, remember, the person whose turn it is, they move, then they decide which battle to do. Well, if they lose a battle and they got to retreat, they can retreat into a location one space away where there's another battle that's already ready to take place. Right? Either there's no battle there, they move in, they start a battle, or there's a battle there that hasn't been gotten to yet, they move in, they're joining forces. Okay. Whoa, good. We're getting near the end, so soon to finish this up. Sorry for taking so long. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Okay. Now, special rules. Toyotomi Hideyori. He was the son of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the warlord whose death led to the Sekigahara campaign. He was 7 years old when the war took place. Now, the Toyotomi Hideyoshi disc is placed on Osaka Castle. If it is destroyed, the regent is captured and the game ends in a Tokugawa victory. As such, it is the last unit lost in any siege of Osaka Castle. Sanada Masayuki, over here, defended Ueda Castle with tenacity and creativity, delaying a force of 38,000 under Tokugawa Hidetada, Ieyasu's son. As a result of the prolonged siege, the younger Tokugawa missed the climactic battle of Sekigahara by several days. Okay. Dad's fighting. I want to go see that fight. I'm his son, loyal son. I want to go, but I'm stuck here in the siege, fighting this guy. I'd rather be over there, fighting at Sekigahara, determining history, you know. And my dad's not going to live forever. If he's the top dog, I'm going to be the next top dog. Okay. Now, he's an extra defender of the castle. Any siege, he's involved. And looks like he's got 6 in the fight. that true? Yeah. 6 in the fight. Great. And then we have Mori Terumoto. Who is he? The most powerful daimyo of... this guy. Right? Mori. Yeah. So a special guy. Most powerful daimyo of Ishida's coalition. He feared being overshadowed and left Mori in Osaka with a high title but no active role. Some forces remained in Osaka with their leader. Others traveled into battle with his son. Those that traveled felt their dignity insulted by Ishida's retreatment of their daimyo. Mori forces declined to participate in the climactic battle that ended in their coalition's defeat. Had Mori Terumoto been made the active commander of coalition forces, he would have threatened Ishida's primacy severely, but the fighting force deployed would have been far more potent. Now, he, the leader, and the 4 Mori blocks, this guy, begin the game face up in the Mori box. Now, the Ishida player can bring those blocks into play by sacrificing cards. In reality, he gave him a high title, put him in Osaka, said, hey, you're in charge here, but you're not going to fight for me today. Not this week, not next week, not for 7 weeks. You're not fighting. You're going to stay there. But in this game, we can bring him out of the castle. Just bring him out. We can do it. But how do we do it? Okay, now, you can sacrifice a card during your turn. For each card you sacrifice, one of these blocks can come out and go into Osaka. On your fifth sacrifice, Mori himself goes over to Osaka to take charge in the fight. Okay, then he'll be in the fight. And they can move, but not on the same turn that they move into the castle. Ooh, there we go. Now, you can just hang back and wait for Tokugawa to attack Osaka Castle, if that happens. Right? Because that's where this guy is, right? The young guy, the heir. If he attacks Osaka Castle, at the moment combat is declared, all the blocks, all the Mori blocks, boom, they land right there. And they join the battle. Right? Okay. Now, we've got the Red Devils, Naomasa, Naomasa and his warriors, known as the Red Devils, were some of Tokugawa's fiercest defenders. They were the first to storm the field at Sekigahara. They have a single block with 4 mon. It is the only 4 mon block in the game. It begins the game with Fukushima's forces in Kiyoshi. Right there, that one. Okay, there is no E card because it's the only block. And any card, you can bring him on. Okay, then Ishida. Where's he at? Where's Ishida? Where did we put Ishida? I forget. Over here, Ishida. Oh, yeah, that's just repeating. If he's eliminated, Tokugawa Ieyasu wins. And any Ishida card, anybody's card, can bring him on. Okay. Anyways, that's it for me today. I now get to play with my new computer. Slowly. Yeah. So take my time. So yeah, now that hopefully everything's moving along, new computer, back to using OGS, either slobs or OBS Studio, slobs or OBS Studio, either one of those. I'll get back to my nice shots that I had before it went down. So thank you for joining today. The one person who seems to have stayed with us for the whole thing. Thank you very much. Hope that you follow so that you can come and watch the game for reals when it happens on the 29th. I'm going to have to go through this again. I might do it on camera, might not. Or I may go through it again off camera and then come back and do a how to play, to check my teaching ability of the game. So just in case David is a little uncertain about some things, I will have gone through and taught it on camera, and I'll be more confident about what I actually know. Okay, so either one of those may happen, may not happen, but we'll see. So thanks again for joining, and we are signing off.